Yes guys, welcome back. Good afternoon, good morning, whatever part of the world you're in, that's the greeting I'm going to give you. But today you're joining me so I can speak to two very important guests of mine. Two more very important guests. These are two young men who are tremendous individuals, tremendous athletes, and they're only getting better. They are Kuwaiti nationals, they're tennis players, they're already creeping up and closing that gap towards senior national level. I want you to put a big round of applause, no I'm joking, not round of applause, sit down, relax, but welcome with me, Omran and Abdullah. Yeah, Abdullah, yeah. That's what we cheering for them when they're on the Wimbledon and the ATP circuit, yeah, so get ready to know their names. All right, Slim, tell your fans who you are.
My name's Abdullah. Here in Pure Sprint, I'm known as the military man. I'm from Kuwait, I'm 16, and my goal is to be a professional tennis player.
All right, you hear that? My goal is to be a professional tennis player. You hear that? That's a solid talk, mate. You guys sitting back home drooling on your pillow, you want to be a solid pillow drooler. That's what you want to do. This guy wants to be a pro already. How old are you?
16.
16, he knows this already. When did you know that?
When I was 13.
When he was 13. At 13, you was already a professional pillow drooler. This guy's ready. Now, Omran, the Joker, huh? Look at that smile.
Joker.
He's forever smiling. It's such a pleasure to coach. Look at that smile. When I see him, it's just like, hey man, whatever's going on, I'm having a good time. But, Omran, tell your fans a little bit more about yourself.
My name's Imran, I'm from Kuwait. I'm 14 years old, soon turning 15, and I also want to become a professional tennis player.
You hear that? Man's young like hell, and he already knows what he wants to be. Professional tennis player. you tell the story about how we met. What did he look like when we met? Tell the fans.
One shoulder up, back curved, like.
I was a mess.
Yeah, I can't explain.
I was a huge mess.
He was walking around like this. Oh, you corrected him, you going like that. What's wrong with me?
Abdullah had the worst posture.
I could barely touch my toes. Like I was like screaming, like
you were screaming at your knees.
Yeah, like just below my knees.
No flexibility. His posture was completely off. His alignment was finished. He was like.
I was kind of like Loki. So I did his back.
Yeah, you were not as bad as Loki. Loki had like a severe back issue. But yours was just complete misalignment.
Yeah.
And no one had addressed it before. He'd been training in tennis. How many years you've been training?
Since I was 4.
And then as soon as you mentioned it, that's when we noticed, like, yeah, that's correct. How come no one else noticed it? Because we were taught to like think, oh yeah, that's normal. But as soon as you mentioned it, we realized, oh yeah, it is misaligned.
So how many clubs and academies and coaches had you had before we met? Like any sport?
We started with tennis and soccer, but no one mentioned like about the posture or anything.
But yeah, so you did tennis, you did football, and no one had mentioned your alignment issue.
So when I came to Pierceman, when you mentioned it, I started noticing it like just in our normal life. I see just normal people with misalignments, and I was like, wow, it's like that's a problem that many people have, but no one really mentioned it.
And what was your issue?
He was
weak as hell.
Yeah. In general, I was healthy. Like I didn't have misalignments or bad posture or stuff like that. But I just wasn't taught any of the right stuff, so I didn't have the strength to do all the stuff that I was supposed to do.
With having all these misalignment issues and you having the weakness, like guys, we're gonna see the counter coming up there. We're gonna see the cat counter. There's 2 cats. There's Choo Choo and there's Lala. Yeah, the cat count will be up there. If you didn't see the big cat, the Choo Choo was walking across just now, that's counter number 1.
There's 2 around there.
So when Lala gets involved, she's more likely going to jump on one of these guys' laps. All right? So just be sure. This is a family-friendly place. There's cats here. They're okay. They've been tested. There's no problems with these guys. Okay? You know what I'm talking about. Pandemic. There's no problems with them. All right, let's go. All right. So you've been doing all these trainings with these different clubs, different places. They hadn't noticed any of your issues. How would you say playing with those issues impacted your performance?
I think because, especially like for tennis, especially the backhand, is basically a left-handed forehand. So in my case, I'm right-handed, so it's a left-handed forehand for me, and so you should use your left hand more to get the spin. And so, because my left shoulder was always like tight, I couldn't really get the spin, it was always flat, I couldn't get the extension, the arm. So yeah, now obviously training with Pure Sprint, I've become a lot better, with more posture. So that translated to the court. Now I hit my shots more fluently and better.
Good. So when you were playing before with misalignment, you weren't able to perform those shots. What were your coaches doing to correct you not being able to play the shots?
I just can't remember, to be honest.
It's really helpful. What would you know? Because you were obviously trained together. What did you notice? What were the coaches trying to do for him to help him play the shots?
I mean,
It was just a
they
repetition.
wouldn't like focus on trying to like fix the problem, which was his shoulder being really stiff and higher than his other shoulder. So they would just try to be like, oh, well, they'd repeat the same thing. They'd say it was like a problem with using your left hand properly to get a spin. They would just say, oh, use your left hand more, use your left hand more. They wouldn't explain how. It was just repeating instructions. Basically.
So I was just physically not able to do it.
So you were still going to training, you get no benefit from it because you physically couldn't do it.
Yeah, especially the backhand. The backhand was terrible.
And you've been doing this.
I think a lot of it was psychological as well.
I mean, when you physically can't do something, it's going to have a knock-on in your psyche as well. So
Yeah.
you've been going tennis training all this time to get no progress, and no one highlighted you have an issue.
Yeah, no one highlighted any of like my problems with the posture.
See, that really upsets me. See, I didn't know it had been going on for that long. I just saw the issue, let's fix it, and let's carry on. Alright, your weakness was your weakness. So you've always been, this guy, I'm telling you, he's a very intelligent athlete. When you say something to him, he almost grasps the concept immediately and he implements it. It's very rare to see athletes that do that and do it as well as what he does. But when we first met, you were weak as hell. I don't want to drone on so much about how weak you were, but it's really weak. So being as weak as you were, and not really realising it, did you notice that had an impact to how your performance was on the court?
I mean, as I said, like at that point it just felt normal, so I just felt like I just needed to practice it more, to just get the reps in and work on my weaknesses just to improve at the shots. But after training with Coach Rob for about 2 years almost now, everything is just much easier, even with not as much like, obviously I still have to like practice the shots to get better at it, but everything kind of just comes much easier since the rest of my body is already strong. I have the strength to do all the movements I have to do. So it just helps me out a lot.
Good. That's good to know. Our strength work is helping tennis players. So our audience will see a lot of, when we put the stuff on the social media stories or whatever, they just see running. They just see run. That's what they pretty much associate it all to be. It's just running. It's a running club or whatever you lot think. Whatever. All right. Tell them how what we do improves your sport.
So I think like for our case, we play tennis. I think for us it's mainly the strength from the legs and the strength in the hips, because like tennis, people think it's just arms, but also mainly from the legs, because the power comes from the legs. So because some of the workouts we do is to work on the leg strength. So with all that strength we can get more power on the court. And so that's, I think for me, when I first started training in Pure Sprint until now, I think my power, I've been noticing more power as improvement. So yeah.
I've seen that when I come out and watch you play. Your footwork to get to the ball and then come through your legs, that translates through the racket, is phenomenal. From when I first saw you play to where you're at now, and it looks more effortless. It looks like you're not even trying to hit the ball hard. You look like you're going more for placement, but there's a lot of power going through your shot. So I'm always pleased to see that I know that you are, I know for a fact you are getting stronger, but it also has to translate on the court. So glad you said that, because I see it, and it's also good that he feels it. It's very important that he feels it. So when he goes to his tennis coaches, they just have to teach him technique. Everything else is looked after. He gets the technique from them. From us, it's all about speed and strength. Power. Omran, tell them, how has it impacted your sport? What part of your game has really changed from doing what we do here in Pure Sprint, and how has it translated into yourself? Count at number 2. You didn't see him, but you heard him.
That's it.
He's there. He runs the place, what can I say? The lion is like this big. And you've gone.
My overall game has just improved as a whole. Just the longer I've been training, my rate of progress has just been going up the whole time. Like, the longer I train, the more I increase. Before I started training with him, I had all the weakness, all that stuff holding me back, so it was just like a steady climb. Then as soon as I start training with him, then it starts to increase much faster. So a lot, like my progress in the past few years, which is the few years that I've been training with him, my progress has been much faster than before.
Good. Again, going back to his intelligence, he picks up things very quickly. I do focus with these guys, all my athletes, is initially I've got to break them down. You heard before the story of the hunchback of Kuwait over here. Yeah. We had to fix that through therapy. We'll get to that bit in a minute. We had to fix that through therapy and a series of, or prolonged period of stretching, just stretching. Once we realigned their body, we was able to see what they're capable of from a physical point of view. Once we go through that process, now I can actually start teaching them. And in that teaching process, Omran picked up mechanics really easy. And as he's picking them up, he's able to implement those mechanics into his sport. He's able to understand movement is movement. It doesn't deviate just because you play one sport or another sport or whatever. Movement is movement is movement. And then he was able to take our training, what we're doing here, and apply it onto the court. And when I've seen you play, again, your footwork, both your footwork is really good. You're obviously smaller than your brother, but you still pack one hell of a punch. This is where we cue like the tennis serves. Yeah? We're going to insert the tennis serves there. His serve is only gotten more powerful, and he's short, so he's able to get a lot more spring, a lot more height, a lot more what do you call it? More velocity through the ball. Your top end of hitting the ball on the serve. Beautiful to watch. I'm not a tennis man, but I understand movement. So when I see these guys put in the work that we do here onto the court, it makes me a very proud coach. And to know that they're feeling it while they're on the court is a beautiful feeling. So we're going to take that. You feel great on the court now. We're going to go back to how we fixed you to get you ready and prepared to be on the court. We have to fix his back. How do we fix his back?
Therapy.
Therapy, that's it. Here's where we cue a few more of those behind the scenes shots of the therapy and all that kind of stuff. How did it feel when you first got therapy? Go on, tell them what you did. It's okay. It's not a bad thing.
I know for the first 3 sessions.
I'll argue maybe 4.
I don't know. I'm back home crying. Because
During the session.
yeah,
During the session, you cried as well. You were crying, man. You were crying.
it
in
was
a bad way.
painful. Painful.
All right, so it was painful. Therapy is painful. I'm not going to lie to you, but it's
Only
taken.
in the beginning. 'Cause
Yeah.
In the beginning, there's problems to break down.
It's only painful. if
After
you're
that,
tight.
it's just maintenance, just making sure there are no injuries. After that, it's not painful.
It's only painful if you're tight. But if you're in good shape, it's fine.
It becomes maintenance, right?
Yeah.
This is what I get all my athletes to understand. The work that we do at first is painful, but once you're in the rhythm, it's a rhythm. It's easy. There's no pain. It's easy stuff. Huh? That's how we do it. We want to train you to bring out the best in you. We don't want to just train you to break you down and get you tired, exhausted. That's not the aim of what we do. We train you so we can help bring the best out from you. Okay? How did you feel therapy was going for yourself?
I wasn't as tight as him because he had all these problems and stuff like that, but it was still really painful. The shoulder, I hated shoulder. a bit more recently, I hated this. I hated it. There's a lot of stuff I hated.
Hate everything. Everyone hates everything in therapy.
It's not pleasant.
It's just the first few times, but now, once, because we do it every week, so, and we train with him as well, so we make sure there's no stiffnesses, no injuries. So at the end of the week, there's nothing really to break down to cause that pain during therapy. That's why only the first few times is painful.
So keep you healthy. So
Yeah.
a running theme that you're going to see with all the athletes we talk about is my number one priority is to keep them healthy. Like, I want to see these guys reach their full potential in terms of growth. So I make sure their posture, their alignment is okay. We're always talking about your diet. Gonna eat. They're growing guys, so they've got to eat. They've got to see food as more than just food. It's fuel. They're growing very, very quickly. This guy's had another growth spurt. We've angled this whole room here, so I look bigger than him. But really, he's a lot bigger than me. So we talk about nutrition all the time. My number one priority for the children, all of them, not just these guys, is to keep them healthy. Injury, I don't know if you noticed it, but injury, if I see anyone with any type of pain or hurt, it hurts me. I take it personally. So I tell you guys to sit down, let me think about it, and your session will remix based on, or it'll stop based on what it is that's going on. I do not want these guys to get hurt. All right, and so far, they've been hurt.
No.
Been hurt.
I mean, like, with my back.
Whose
Well, that
fault
was
is that?
before.
Huh?
Whose fault is that?
Yeah, that's
He's
my
gonna
fault.
fix it.
Yeah, he fixed it, so.
You see? Good thing we got a little brother here, you know. He will tell you the truth. This guy, military man, he'll tell you what's in the best interest of the military. No. This guy will tell you the truth. Yeah, so, all right, now let's get a bit deeper. Let's go into the sessions. Like, what is it about the sessions that keep you coming back? Why do you keep coming to me? Tennis coaches will tell you, oh, get in the gym and do this, that, whatever. This guy,
The knees.
this guy, he used to have bad knees. We forgot about it. This guy used to have bad knees. And the tennis coaches, what do they make you do?
Always make me.
That's four. Is that 3 or 4 or something?
That's 3, I think.
That's 4?
That's 4.
He wants to,
That's 5?
he wants to be in the shot.
That's 6?
Hey, Chooch! Keep yourself quiet, Mike. Tell them why your knees were hurt.
The coaches that I used to train with, they always make me use the ladder to try to be explosive in like small steps, quick feet. It doesn't
Not
make
explosive-
sense.
it's not
It just
explosive
all it
whatsoever.
does is just wear off. Is that the right term? It may feel like, oh yeah, you're going quick, but it's because you're taking tiny steps. Anyone can do that, but all it does is just destroy your knees.
There's other ways of training footwork and explosiveness without hurting your knees.
His knees were a mess. Even just slight movements were hurting him because of how much ladder work he was doing. So give them an example of what we can do in terms of something else that can develop your explosiveness, the speed of your feet, all that kind of stuff.
So explosiveness, like leg strength, definitely squat jumps,
Lots of
tuck
jumps.
Yeah, lots of jumps.
Which is also known as,
Okay, fine.
Plyometrics.
yeah, you see, I know.
Like quick feet, it could be like high knees, to be quick off the ground. High knees, butt kicks.
Real butt kicks.
Real butt kicks.
Yeah, not what you guys think butt kicks are. The way we do it is completely different. So tune in some more videos and we might do a little demo of how to do real butt kicks.
And also, I think step overs also,
Yeah.
because you train like the ankle.
That's
to
landing. That's the landing.
Yeah, but
Stiff joints.
yeah.
So these things they're very much like running mechanics,
Yeah.
but
But you can-
they translate into your sport, right?
Yeah.
And you felt a difference.
Huh.
How so? How have you felt the difference? What is it?
Because yes, it is running movements, but there's only 7 movements. It's push, pull, lunge, gait, rotate, squat, hinge. Yeah.
Good. You guys are learning stuff.
That's all the movements. So sprinting involves every single one of those movements. So as long as you have that technique down,
Then
you have the strength to do any other movement.
These guys learning, man. These guys know more than your coach. Listen, I challenge anyone. I'll do it again. I'll tell you again. I challenge anyone. Bring your coach. Bring your champion. Yeah, and question my athletes. These guys know their stuff. They don't just train with me and just learn the physical. They're also developing up here. They're understanding their body. I'm not going to be with them for every single tournament they go to, every single match they play. Again, getting back to it. Why is it that you guys train with Pure Sprint? Why?
To get better.
Well,
Alright,
well, yeah, but
nutshell. Tell them more.
you could just see this as like just another one of those academies, but when you actually train with Pure Sprint, then you start noticing the differences. With other academies, you'll have a bunch of coaches who you can tell whatever work they tell you to do, you'll do it, you look at them. Chances are they're not really paying attention and telling you how to fix any mistakes you're
Or
making.
they're like on their phone or something.
Yeah.
Like.
Training with Pure Sprint, the coach's priority is making sure that every single athlete is doing it right, staying healthy, and making sure that they improve.
Also, the training we do is different. Like going to academies, everyone does high knees, everyone does butt kicks, everyone does ladders, everyone does the same thing.
And also, when we remix stuff here with Pure Sprint, in the other academies, they don't explain why you're doing each thing. If you ask them, this is for arms, this is for this, it's like it's vague stuff.
It's just like a
You train
general,
here,
you know.
if you ask, he'll break down what each thing does, how it helps, and he'll just break down each thing and explain why it's good and why doing it the wrong way, why it's wrong.
Guys learn a lot, man. You take on board stuff. It blew me away. That's good. Tell your fans more about what's different about us here at Pure Sprint.
As I said, the coaches also here pay more attention, and it's not only when you're doing the work, even when you're taking a break, they'll tell you all the things you need to work on, what you're doing well. Especially Coach Rob, like you can tell when he's actually coaching you. You can tell that he's passionate and wants everyone to improve. So whenever someone's like messing around or doing something wrong, you can tell he gets upset. He wants the best for everyone, and that's what he's looking for when he brings in new coaches. He wants to make sure that all the coaches share the same interest of improving everyone.
Like they care about the athletes. Not like some people standing just with their pockets inside and complain about the heat and stuff. Yeah, so like sometimes with Coach Rob, he would like sometimes if we're like struggling, he would do the workouts with us to make sure we do it correctly.
And he would like demo it and show us how to do it, and he'd show us like the specific part that we might be messing up or not noticing that we're messing up. And he'd show us how to fix it and adjust our positions to make sure that we do it correctly.
Like he knows about like those small, minute details that make a big
He just makes it as efficient as possible.
Didn't even know I did that. No, cool. But I'm old, and for me to demo like that, man, that's hard work, mate. But the movements should be easy. You'll see them make it look very easy. But it's the small details I'm looking for that make the work as efficient as possible and make it look easy. These guys embody that incredibly well. Very proud to say that I'm a coach. And man, I'm getting emotional. Reason being is because they won't be with us for much longer. They're actually going to, they are going overseas to get more in-depth tennis coaching. So I won't give any details to these people because if you ruin them, I know who you are. Do not do it. You're getting phenomenal athletes, yeah? So, but yeah, these guys are phenomenal tennis athletes. They're phenomenal athletes in general. And they're just all-round great guys. Like, shout out to their parents. You guys are, these are some wonderful guys. If you guys ever, if you're in the group or you want to talk to them, whatever, they're very contactable, friendly, reach-outable, whatever the word is. Drop your handle. What's your IG handle? His name.
Imran_.
Yeah, it's actually.
And his one?
Abdullah Awad Hassan.
Guys, listen. It has been a pleasure. This won't be our last one. We will do more. The fans are going to tell us what they'd like to hear more from you guys, and we'll make more videos surrounding that. But as an intro to who you are and what we're doing, It's been awesome. It's been a pleasure. And it's always my pleasure to coach you. Yeah? Big respect. Big respect. These are my guys, mate. This is my guy. Now, for you guys at home who's drooling and sleeping on your pillow still, not doing anything, if you're not training here to be as intelligent and as athletic, and look at these guys, look at wide shoulders, strong like hell. If you guys have children, or you are children watching this, and you don't look like how strong these guys are, you're messing around. You've been training with this camp and that camp and this place and that place, and you're still round, or you're just small, and you're not tough, and you cry about stuff, and it's too hot, and it's this, and it's... Listen to me, man. I don't want to hear it. We're strong. We don't train no wimp. We don't take no tea break. We're pure sprint. Follow us. IG, Instagram, that's the same one. Facebook, YouTube, all pure sprint.
Same
Yeah?
thing in the last interview, IG.
Man, it's all the same. Make sure you follow. We gotta make sure they understand
Yeah.
it. Some of these people are still sleeping, they're drooling on their pillow. I'm not a fan of it. I'm a fan of hard work. I'm a fan of doing the right thing. And the right thing is with us at Pure Sprint. So I'll catch you on the next one. Guys, we are Pure Sprint at www.puresprint.me. We're out of here. Peace, guys.